Thank you so much for being here. I am stoked. We have like a really big group, which I'm so excited about. We actually had to like increase our room size. So this is super exciting, great turnout. And I think it's because we're doing an earlier time. You'll probably hear me say throughout my presentation, like, thanks for coming tonight. I'm so used to doing these in the evening because I was assuming people like to do them after work and school. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to offer a daytime one because for my impact members, we always do our community calls like during lunchtime and they join from school. And it's cool because I get to see everyone's backgrounds of their office and everything. But anyways, I guess this time works for people because we have an awesome group. So thank you all. Yeah, let's head over to the chat. I was asking where you're joining me from. I am Rachel from Bright Futures Counseling, and I am in sunny, beautiful Costa Rica. I used to work at an international school here, and I still live here. So I'm joining from Tamarindo, Costa Rica, but originally from Georgia and used to live in San Diego. So I love to look for those places on the chat too. So let's see. We've got Kendra from California, Christy, Indiana, Amber from St. Louis, Diana's from Yuma, Stephanie's from Kentucky, Heidi from Ohio, some more from Ohio, Alabama, LA. I'm seeing all over the country. This is awesome. Oh, we even have someone from Iran. Welcome, Kiana. Oh, Deborah's staying in Diego. Nice. I love to hear where you all are joining me from. So amazing. Such a good group we have. So welcome. Thank you for being here. While we're letting everyone join on, I just want to ask quickly because I know it's coming up. Is anyone going on vacation for spring break? Is anyone going to be traveling? I'm so curious where you're going. Is anyone coming to Costa Rica? Maybe we'll see each other. Someone said Disney. Someone else said Disney. Fun. Ooh, Vegas. Fun. Amanda's already finishing up her spring break. Mandy has been happily staying home. Yeah, sometimes it's just nice to chill at home. Naomi's from Georgia and going to Panama City. Oh, yeah, ultimate spring break destination. So fun, so fun. Camping. I love it. I love it. Oh, wow. Mandy said she's going to go to Haiti to hopefully pick up her adopted daughter. Congratulations. That's amazing. Disneyland. Lama said she has 3 weeks off in Dubai. My son has 3 weeks off here. I'm like, what are we going to do for 3 weeks? Awesome. And Amy's staying home with their new baby. I love it. Love to hear what everyone's up to. So nice to get to know you all. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. So like I said, I am Rachel Davis from Bright Futures Counseling. Some of you may know me. Some of you may be new to me. Either way, welcome. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day. And for some of you on your spring break, to be here. Today, I'm going to talk to you all about how to help students break the stress cycle, the anxiety management tool that you didn't learn in grad school. I'm so passionate about this topic. I cannot wait to share it with you. And I like to throw in that little you didn't learn in grad school thing because I absolutely loved my grad school program. I went to Point Loma Nazarene University in San Diego and absolutely loved it and learned so much, had a wonderful experience. But there were still things that I felt unprepared for and ill-equipped for as I entered my job as an elementary school counselor. So that's why I like to do these trainings to kind of supplement maybe what you didn't learn in grad school. So today I'm going to teach you a mental and physiological approach to breaking the stress cycle so you can help your students self-regulate and get ready to learn. And just a little fun fact, you can use any of these strategies with yourself as well. So if you're feeling stressed, try them on yourself as well as your students. Stick around until the end for a special freebie. I'll be giving everyone who attends, so all of you here, my anxiety curriculum. So excited for that. So stick around for the end to that. And please turn off all distractions. So just as a reminder, you've already taken the time to be here. So let's really dive in deep together. Shut the door to your office or, put on your out of office on your email, put your kids or dogs or whatever in the other room if you're at home. And let's really focus together. Okay, so I want to jump right in with a quick and easy stress buster that we can try. This is a 20-second progressive muscle relaxation. So let's do it together. We're going to take a deep breath and then progressively squeeze our muscles from head to toe. So let's start with our head. Act like you're squeezing your head and then release. Then your jaw, squeeze and release. Your neck, squeeze and release. shoulders. I'll stop talking now, but we're going to take 20 minutes to body scan down together, to tense and release. For 20 seconds. Did I say 20 minutes? Okay. I'm at my knees, my legs, all the way to my toes. Now let's do our entire body. Hold as tight as you can. Act like you're squeezing lemons. And then shake it out with a big exhale. This is a quick 20-second progressive muscle relaxation strategy you can do with yourself or your students. How did that make you guys feel? Did make anyone feel better? Were you holding some tension that you didn't know about? I like to do yoga, and sometimes in my yoga class, they'll say remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth or loosen your jaw. Sometimes we're so tense we don't even realize it. Just, whew. Yes. Awesome. Rashonda said she had lots of tension. That was good. So I just wanted to show you a quick thing you can do with your students. Literally takes 20 seconds. And this helps us to speak body language. Now, I'll be diving more into what body language means, but basically, our body doesn't understand that we're stressed about our taxes or stressed about work. It understands body language. So if we're holding tension in our body, then we need to show our body that we can release the same tension. This simple strategy helps to complete the stress cycle, and you can literally do it anywhere, at a red light, in a meeting, anywhere that you need to. Oh, Jill said she did it yesterday with a student. I love it. I'm so glad you're here, and you're in the right place if you're constantly seeing anxious kids and you're unsure how to help. Or if you want more tricks up your sleeve than just deep breathing techniques. And you're in the right place if you want teachers to value your work and understand that you don't have a magic wand. So tell me, which one are you? Are you number one, constantly getting referrals for anxious students, but you're not really sure what to do? Are you number two, you already know the deep breathing strategies, but you're looking for more? Or are you number three, you want teachers to value what you're doing and to understand that you don't just have this magic wand? Seeing a lot of twos and threes. Hannah said she's all of them. Brianna said she wants more tricks up her sleeve. Jennifer's all of them but needs help with three. Yes, absolutely. Well, whatever the reason is, I am with you 100%, and you totally got this. Now, just to introduce myself quickly and share a little bit about more of who I am. This is my family. I'm married to my husband, Grant. You'll see him in the chat. He kind of helps me moderate the comments. Then I have two sons, ages 3.5 and 1.5, Marin and Hovey. The middle picture there, that is one of our beautiful sunsets in Costa Rica. Like I said earlier, I used to work at a K-12 international school here, and I live in Tamarindo, Costa Rica. Been here since about 2019. And then on the right-hand side, that's me way back in 2015 in San Diego, the day before I started my very first day of school counseling. And who am I to be teaching you today? Well, I have nearly a decade of working in counseling and education. I'm the host of a highly rated school counseling podcast called School Counseling Simplified. So maybe you recognize my voice from there. I've been designing curriculum and resources for thousands of school counselors since 2016. So you may know me from my blog, Bright Futures Counseling, or my TPT store. And I help over 30,000 counselors each week with my weekly newsletter. So I would love it for you guys to sign up and join me for my weekly newsletter if you're not there already. I see a few people in the chat are having issues with hearing. Just try to exit and rejoin. I know it's kind of frustrating. I'm sorry. I think just because we have a big group on here. Jordan's going to be in Tamarindo next week. No way. Maybe I'll see you. And thank you for listening to the podcast, Lava. I love it. Now, but the main reason I'm qualified to help you is because I am you. I've been there. So here's some old school photos of me back in 2016. I was working at 2 schools, spread too thin, referrals coming out of my ears. I had a caseload of 1,000 plus and the desire to do it all. And so I started researching. I knew my students struggled with anxiety, but I wanted to offer them more than those same old deep breathing exercises. And once I started researching the stress cycle and the physiological effects of anxiety back in 2019, I became obsessed. It just made sense. So what I've learned through years of trial and error and the research is how to use this anxiety management approach with students. I even presented on this topic in 2020 to the Los Angeles County Board of Education. I went from feeling ill-equipped and unsure on how to help my students who were struggling with anxiety to feeling confident and prepared that I was making a difference. So tell me, can you imagine what it would be like to make a bigger impact with your students and to feel more confident in your work? Comment with a yes if you can imagine what that feels like. I know Karen said her workload's off balance and she gets way too many referrals. Yes. Carla says yes. Hannah says yes. Deborah says yes. Well, learning the secret to breaking the stress cycle is the solution to helping more students manage their anxiety and get ready to learn. Believe me, their teachers are saying thank you already. How many times do you get a teacher that's like, oh, I'm so frustrated with this kid. You've got to help. They're, so anxious. They're breaking down in class. They're having these problems. They need solutions, and we're going to help you get there. So where we're going in this training, first I'm going to share with you how to complete the stress cycle. That is my secret tool. Then strategies to help students self-regulate and get ready to learn. So that's getting them back in the classroom. Then some preventative techniques to increase social skills and decrease anxiety. I love to use a preventative approach and be proactive rather than reactive. Then I'll share how you can work with me, and we'll wrap it up with a live Q&A, and I'll give you your PD certificate and your freebie. Oh, nice. I see some interns here. Welcome, Eve and Eden. So the stress cycle, there's 3 things we want to talk about. First, some common student stressors that we're seeing. Then the physical and emotional effects of stress. And finally, how we can complete the stress cycle, like what we actually need to do. So common student stressors that I see, and I can't wait to hear what you see as well. But first, we see stressors with school. So maybe the actual academics themselves are really demanding and rigorous, and the kids are stressed over that. Or maybe the attendance, right? Like maybe they're not coming to school because of bullying or because of some stressor that's happening or some separation anxiety. The second stressor I tend to see is the category of friendships and relationships. So this would be, again, bullying, maybe just friendship conflicts, social skills. Maybe they feel like they don't know how to interact socially with students, and that's causing anxiety, especially for our kids who are on the spectrum. This can be an issue. Family dynamics. So this would be relationships, right? Maybe at home parents are fighting. Maybe they have struggles with their siblings. Maybe the parents are divorced and they're back and forth between houses, and that's a source of stress. And the third category is global issues. So these are things regarding feeling safe. So safety directly and indirectly related to them. So perhaps indirectly would be something like a war, even if it's occurring on the other side of the world. They may still be, overhearing the news in the background at home and feeling the effects of stress. Or maybe they're feeling direct stress when they have to practice a lockdown drill of school, these global issues. A few people have asked about sharing the presentation, and yes, you will be getting access to the slides as well. So your turn, please jump into the comments and share with me some of your students' common stressors. I'd like to know what is stressful for your students. Okay, we see your basic needs, housing. Oh, this is great. We're getting a lot. Let me scroll up here. Housing has been a big one. Obviously, yes, if our basic needs aren't being met, think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Those basic needs of shelter and security and safety have to be met before we can do any higher level learning, right? Intrusive thoughts about safety, lack of social skills, selective mutism. We just did a podcast on that. Fascinating. Family changes, family issues, standardized testing, home life, peer issues, peer conflicts, abusive family, divorce, feeling safe, bullying, family, test grades, social skills. Yes, I mean, wow, the list is going on and on and on. Perfectionism, substance abuse, basic needs not met, testing. And we're getting into testing season. This is a big one as well. Stressors are things that activate the stress response, and they're mostly external things like work or school or societal expectations. Today's students have their typical adolescent stressors that we remember from when we were kids, right? But it's also compounded with the lingering effects of the pandemic. So it's 2024. It's been a few years, thank goodness, since we had lockdown and everything. But counselors tell me all the time that they're seeing the lingering residual effects, right? A lot of kids were out of school for 2 years, and now the social anxiety is there, the safety anxiety, all of these things. They're behind in academics because they were out of school. So we're seeing a lot of compounded anxiety in addition to the typical adolescent stressors. So let's talk about what's going on in our brain. And I love to talk about the science behind this because I find that neuroscience really empowering. It becomes something tangible that we can help overcome rather than just something abstract. So the physical and the emotional effects of stress in the brain. When we're stressed, our amygdala, so you've probably heard about the amygdala, it's the fear center, and that's where you hear, fight or flight part of your brain. That activates our stress response system, which is the HPA axis. So that's the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the adrenal cortex. So you've probably heard about like your adrenaline starts pumping, right? So that's what's going on in the brain, right? The amygdala fires off, help, something bad's happening, and then our stress response system gets activated. What that looks like in the body is when that stress response system is activated, it releases hormones like cortisol. And this increases our glucose, speeds up our heart rate, and increases blood flow to your arms and legs so you can move to respond to a threat. Now, so we're thinking, okay, all the blood is now leaving the prefrontal cortex, the rational, the learning center. It's leaving that part of the brain and going to this primal place of like, run, get out of here. This is a problem. Now, of course, our bodies are designed and created to react to problems like this, but it can be problematic if this becomes chronic or reoccurring, which we're going to dive into. The same hormones that are so important for the fight or flight response can lead to digestive issues, trouble sleeping, and a weakened immune system, making people more susceptible to viruses like flu and chronic health problems. So as you know, I'm sure, I feel like everyone has sick kids right now. It's like flu's on and off and everything. And I've always known this, but this was fascinating. It was like a real light bulb moment for me because I've always known that my immune system's weakened when I'm stressed, right? I used to get like fever blisters as a kid, and it'd be like, oh, I'm stressed about cheerleading tryouts or something. And then I would break out in a fever blister. And so I knew that my body, was less ready to fight illness and things when I was stressed, but I didn't really know the science behind it. But the science behind it is because, as you can see on the previous slide, all of those, the cortisol, and it's increasing glucose, speeding up our heart rate. It's sending all of your body's power and your brain's power to these other areas, and it's taking away from our normal functioning areas like sleep and digesting our food. So this can lead to so many problems. Just like when we hear that kids have stomach aches a lot because it manifests through anxiety. So why our bodies do this, it's a response, it's a survival technique, right? For short-term stress, and it's critical for survival. And these external factors, those stressors that we talked about, all of the things that you guys listed in the chat, those are the stressors. But the stress itself is the physical thing that's happening in your body. So it all goes back to being, we're evolutionarily designed to survive stress, like being chased by a lion. So what I mean by that is, like, let's say you're being chased by a lion, caveman style. What you're going to do is you're going to run and you're going to seek safety and shelter from others. Once you're there and you're like, whew, dodged it, we made it. Your behaviors are telling your body, it's okay, you're safe now. You've escaped the stressful situation. This is what I mean by completing the stress cycle. You then feel immediately better. But here's the question. Do we feel better because the lion is gone, because the stressor is gone, or do we feel better because we were running, because we completed that stress cycle? And the answer is the latter. I was reading a lot of the research from this presentation. It comes from the book Burnout. It's an awesome book. And I was reading in there, they said the same example, and they were like, if you shoot the lion, if the lion was to just die, the stressor is gone, but you're still in the middle of running, you're not going to get that same sense of fulfillment of completing the stress cycle as if you physically escaped and then found your support group. Dealing with your stress is a separate process from dealing with the things that cause you stress. And to deal with the stress, you have to complete the stress cycle. So this is the secret tool I'm talking about. A lot of times we'll say, okay, well, the stressor's gone, or we can, figure out a plan for dealing with that stressor. But are the kids actually getting rid of the physical changes in their body? Are they completing the stress cycle, all of that cortisol? Because it's the behavior, like I mentioned, the running, that's the change and not the change in the environment that triggers the physiological change. And we're looking for that physiological change to complete the stress cycle. So let's make this a little more simple. How does this apply to our everyday lives? So like I said, regarding the lion, even if the stressor's gone, you still need to complete the stress cycle. So let's say our kids at home, their parents are going through a divorce. They're fighting all the time. There's a lot of yelling in the house. The kid's feeling super stressed. Then they get to school. The stressor's away. No parents are screaming at school. They love school. Teachers great. Friends are great. Everything's awesome. But their body still has that pent-up stress and that pent-up energy. So even though the stressor's gone, they still need to complete the stress cycle. And this is what we can help them do. It's communicating to our body that they're okay and that it can stop releasing those stress hormones and it can go back to, operating in the logical, rational space, the ready to learn space, and not in that fight or flight space. So while a student may mentally know that a stressor is gone, like I gave the example, another example is maybe they're writing a paper, right? It's super stressful, but then they know they finished it. They're relieved that they finished it, but the physical part of them still hasn't caught up yet. The author of the book is Emily Nagoski, I believe. We can find a link to it and put it in the chat. How does this apply to our everyday life? Well, consider students who are experiencing trauma at home, right? They can't truly escape the stressor. So it's essential for their mental and physical well-being that they complete the stress cycle. And that's where we as counselors step in. Think about a kid who's going home, day after day to a traumatic situation, right? Day after day to fighting, or just even as you, let's say that you have a stressor in your life and every day you have to keep going back to it. Then you kind of get that anxiety knowing that's coming, right? So we still need to complete the stress cycle because we're reoccurring it in and out. And this, remember we're talking about body language when we talked about the progressive muscle relaxation. This is what I meant. Because your body's speaking body language, you need to speak body language and fulfill the thing it's intended to fulfill, completing the stress cycle. Okay, so you're like, cool, you've explained why, I get it. Tell me the real deal. Like, what do we do? How do we help the kids? Here's how we complete the stress cycle. Number 1, physical activity. Number 2, breathing. And number 3, positive social interactions. Physical activity is definitely the most efficient way to complete the stress cycle. I gave the example of running from the lion. We're wired to do this. It's the same thing. Go for a run, have a 10-minute dance party, or use those progressive muscle relaxation techniques. Now, if a kid's having crisis at school, going for a run may not always be the best option. So what they can do, progressive muscle relaxation, that's why I wanted to teach that one to you guys, because you can do it in your seat right there. 10-minute dance party. I used to do those in my office all the time. Shake it out. Get all of that pent-up stress out of your system. Physical activity can also be a preventative strategy for stress maintenance. So because we know, like I said, we're going to be going back into these stressful situations day in and day out, we need to prevent it. We need to do something every single day to release some of the stress, and physical activity, just incorporating a little bit of physical activity every day can help with this. And here again, citing the book and the research is that, eons ago, our ancestors used to react to danger using fight or flight, and then they would celebrate in like a victory dance and be with their group, be with their tribe. So knowing, not only completing the physical sensation, but knowing that they have a safe person to go to is huge. Breathing. So ignoring thoughts and distractions as you solely focus on your breath. We talk about deep breathing all the time, and I was kind of using this training as like what you can do instead of just breathing. But breathing is our go-to one, right? We all know the powerful effects of breathing. So we don't want to disregard this one completely. I just want to bring attention to the importance of the physical nature of completing the stress cycle. Breathing is better for lower stress situations. So if it's like a smaller stressor, deep breaths may help you complete it without the physical component, or just to get the process started. So if you're like, oh gosh, I got to go for a run, I'm so stressed, but you know that you're not in a place where you can do that, that's where deep breathing can come into place. Because again, this is something you can do at your desk for you or students. So let's do an exercise. We're going to start counting our breaths after each inhale and exhale. And we're going to do this for a few seconds and start over if your thoughts start to wander. So for example, you're going to go in your head, 1, 2. So each number is the inhale and exhale, the full breath cycle. But if your mind starts to wander, if you're like, oh, what's that over there? Oh, did I hear someone knock? Oh, did she talk about this? Oh, what was the name of that podcast? If you start thinking, you have to start back to 1. Okay, go ahead, take a few moments. I'm going to do it with you. Okay. I didn't give you a ton of time, but I don't know about you guys. For me, I got to 3. And then I was like already thinking about something else. Like, oh, I wish I said that. Or wish I said that differently. And then I went back to 1. How far did you get? Carla got to 5. Yay. Lama got to 2. Nicole to 3. Billy all the way to 6. Megan 7. Awesome. Yeah, it's tricky, right? Our minds are constantly going crazy. So that's why deep breathing and mindful breathing is so important. The third component, in addition to physical activity and breathing, is positive social interaction, spending time with people who make you feel safe and secure. So again, an example of the caveman, our ancestors would return to their tribe, their trusted, safe group. So important for us. That's why you as the counselor are such an important person on campus, for them to know that they have someone who can make them feel safe and secure. You want to stress that to students all the time. Or I love to do, in almost every group I do, one session is completely devoted to support systems and having students identify people at home, at school, and in the community who they can go to when they're feeling overwhelmed, because it's so important that they have this positive social interaction. And even casual but friendly social interaction signals that the world is a safe place. So this really helps for that stressor we were talking about, like world events or this like overwhelming sense of things that are definitely out of our control. Knowing that the world's a safe place through friendly social interaction can help. So this is one reason why I love to do small groups, is really facilitating that interaction. Because even if you're not physically in a place at your actual home, your body can get you to the feeling of home when it's with someone who is safe. All right, so we've talked about the stress cycle, why it's important, and what we can do to break the stress cycle. Now let's talk about it specifically for our students. Let's think you got a kid coming to your office, the teacher's like, they're out of control. I need you to help them get back to class ASAP, right? Because as school counselors, we are not there to provide like the ongoing therapy. We're short-term solution focused and trying to get the kiddos ready to learn. And the reason this is so important and related to stress is because brains under chronic stress will have trouble learning new things and committing new material to memory. Like we were saying, if you're suffering from chronic stress, your students are living in that fight or flight. They're living in that amygdala zone. They're not using their prefrontal cortex or their rational mind to learn new things. So of course the teacher's frustrated they can't learn anything new. And of course their grades are suffering. It's all related and interconnected. So remember, what can we do when we see these students, they come to our office? Help them complete the stress cycle. Those are those 3 ways we just talked about: physical activity, breathing exercises, and promoting that positive social interaction, letting them know that you are their safe person. But there's also some more strategies you can do. Laughing, so uninhibited big belly laughs. This helps you to maintain social bonds and regulate emotions. It may seem kind of silly, but you could show them like a funny clip on your computer. You could have them tell a funny story to really get them going. Anything you want to do to get some laughing started. Funny story, I actually went to a yoga retreat in Bali a few years ago, well, quite a few years ago now. And they made us do like on-demand laughing. It was so awkward at first, but like fake laughing. And then it made everyone real laugh. And it was just ended up being like really cool. But it started very awkward and uncomfortable, but it did allow you to start to really laugh. So you could do this with kids. Crying is another emotional release. We don't want to make our students cry, but often if they come to you crying, give them permission and space to do that, and just, be there for them if they're crying. That actually is a great way to release the stress cycle. Creating, so expressing emotions through art. I love to do like painting with kids, collages, put on some music, give them some paint. If you can collaborate with your art teacher to see if they can provide some materials, or even do this, come to one of your groups or something, that's an awesome way to do the creating piece. And physical touch. Now, obviously, we want to be mindful of this in the school setting, and know, what's appropriate and boundaries. I would do like a side hug with kids sometimes, or you can ask for permission before giving a hug to make sure everyone's comfortable. But studies show that a warm hug in a safe or trusting context can do as much to your body as if it escaped a threat jogging a couple of miles. So it's signaling that same signal of like, you're safe, you're in a safe space, the stress is gone. And it's a lot less sweaty to jog a couple miles, and it's a lot more accessible, right, to do a hug. These are things you can also share with caregivers. So tell parents, try these things when your kid's stressed at home. Janine had a great question regarding completing the stress cycle. Does it mean doing one of the items or doing all 3? You can just do one of the items. These are all various ways to complete the stress cycle, but the physical action is the most efficient one, or effective one. Getting students self-regulate and ready to learn. Explain the stress cycle and the brain science to kids. So you can explain it in a less complex way than I did here, but I love to explain like you have your thinking brain and your worry brain. You can see this is one of my resources I have here where I do this activity with kids. This gives them more ownership and allows them to feel more in control of their anxiety. It's really empowering. It's also normalizing the anxiety, right? Like this happens to everybody. It's literally in our brains. We are hardwired to do this. There's nothing wrong with you. I love to normalize things when I can, so our students feel less anxious. And you can try completing the stress cycle by pairing the deep breathing exercises with some grounding exercises. So I love grounding exercises. Jill said she just used that resource. That's awesome. Rainbow grounding, ABC grounding, and 5 senses grounding are 3 types I love. The resource, the freebie I'm giving you guys for showing up to the training, all of these are included in there. The ABC grounding, I use this with rainbow grounding I use with my son all the time because he's still working on ABCs. He's a toddler. But I'll tell him like, okay, like when he's having a tough time, find something red, you go through the Roy G. Biv, find something orange, find something yellow, and it causes them to kind of get out of their head, to get out of that spiral, and to like physically look around and find something. So pairing that with the deep breathing, getting them back together, that's a great way to bring them in. Grounding. ABC, same thing, just longer, 26 things you have to find, starting with each letter of the alphabet. And then 5 senses are, what's something you feel right now? What's something you taste right now? We got a few questions relating middle school. Yes, you can use all of these strategies with middle school students as well. So tell me, which strategy are you excited to teach? 1, 2, or 3? Physical activity. Are you excited to teach more of those strategies? And you can even do jumping jacks like in your office. Deep breathing exercises or the grounding exercises. I'm seeing a lot of love for the grounding exercises. Mandy wants to try them all. Ebony said grounding exercises. Jennifer, physical activity. Christy, all of them. Amazing. Not many people said deep breathing. I know you guys already know about the deep breathing. That's good. Okay, now let's go into some preventative techniques. So as you know, school counseling, we're supposed to be preventative and proactive. And that's why I love Tier 1 counseling so much. That's why I love the class lessons, because the less, we're already stretched too thin, right? So the less referrals we get, the less crises we have to deal with, the better. So Tier 1 preventative techniques are my jam. They help to increase social skills and decrease anxiety. So 3 preventative techniques you can use. Number 1 is by teaching emotional recognition and self-regulation. 2, facilitate positive social interaction in small group settings. And 3, sort controllable versus uncontrollable stressors. So number 1, emotional recognition and self-regulation. This is so important. You should be teaching this every year because we all need refreshers in this, adults and kids alike. But I love to use a feelings check in my counseling session. So have a feelings poster. How are you feeling and why? And just that recognition. How do you know you're feeling angry? And then they have to say, oh, my jaw's clenched, my fists are tight. Really making the physical connection to the emotion is so important. So you can do this in individual sessions and group sessions. I love to start them always with a feelings poster. Oh, Caitlin says she has one on her wall. Perfect. Then in Tier 1, in the class lessons, I love to do a circle. So you can bring the kids around for like a circle. You may be using restorative practices already at your school and do kind of a feeling circle that way. You can also use tools that already exist, such as zones of regulation, to practice coping skills. So those are all of those self-regulation practices. Here's some examples of what it looks like in action. So this is a self-regulation journal. So having kids figure out a strategy that would help in, when they're feeling different ways, looking at a picture and saying why this person feels that way, when's the time you felt that way, things like that. And what it looks like in action. So here's another example of a self-regulation lesson that I like to use. It incorporates some deep breathing techniques, and then that kids can kind of choose which ones are going to work best for them, and then a thermometer visual. Some people are saying they use zones, but sometimes the kids don't want to use the tools they learn. Yeah, so that's where you could introduce some of these new tools that we're talking about, the physical activity, the artistic expression, things like that. And facilitate positive social interaction. This is the second preventative strategy. So when we have a small group, the reason I love small groups is because regardless of what you're teaching in the small group, this could be a small group on executive functioning or academic skills. But just being in the group alone allows the kids to share their feelings, develop social skills through participation, and practice empathy while hearing from others' experiences. So remember, we talked about the stress cycle and how we need to be completing it daily in a preventative way. So you could try these things with your small groups, do a preventative practice and a daily release through yoga or walks. So do some yoga in your small group. If your school is weird on yoga, call it stretching or mindfulness. Take them on a grounding walk. So go on a walk outside, leave your office for one session and have to go on a grounding walk and talk about what they're seeing, what they're feeling, what they're hearing. They can even take off their shoes and ground in the ground if it's warm enough. Then you can take them on the track. If your school has a track, go around and do a mindfulness walk on the track, because likely every single student in your group is experiencing some kind of stress, and you can do these exercises with them. So maybe you have a group you're running on stress or on anxiety. This is absolutely essential for these groups. But even a group that's on a different topic, maybe you're doing a group on grief or a group for kids of divorce. You could still do these things because obviously there's stressors related to that as well. Now, Another thing you can do is to sort controllable versus uncontrollable stressors. I'm looking in the chat really quick. The thermometer visual Nicole loves. Yes. Let's see here. Jennifer is saying, yeah, tier 1 is whole class lessons. That's right. That's exactly what I'm referring to. And Angel is saying she was making like a calm down thing with a plastic jar from the Dollar Tree. Oh, that's great. 10 jumping jacks. Someone else is going to try that with their self-regulation group. And Christina said her kids loved getting the yoga mats and being barefoot. Absolutely. Another thing is to sort controllable versus uncontrollable stressors. Now, I know some people in the chat were asking about middle and high school resources. This one is for these guys, right? This is upper elementary as well, but I did this with 6th grade. Awesome. It's so empowering. It's a preventative strategy where kids can discuss the differences between preventable stressors versus inevitable stressors, or avoidable versus unavoidable. You've maybe heard of this also through the lens of like a circle of control. So on the right-hand side, I have a picture. This is from my stress group. This is what the activity I did in 6th grade. But they have headphones on. And it's the analogy of like, you're going to have stress come into your life, but you can put on your headphones. And some of these things are avoidable when you put on your headphones. So an avoidable stressor would be like, if you're always late to stuff, you could set an alarm, wake up earlier, whatever. That would be an avoidable stressor. But then an unavoidable stressor would be like your parents fighting or something. So that's why I'm saying like some of the noise still gets through. Some of these things are unavoidable. But the things that are avoidable, we should actively try to avoid them to lessen our stress. So you can have the kids do, write on the music notes different things, different stressors, and then together you sort, are these avoidable or unavoidable? Same thing with circles of control, figuring out what's in my control versus what's out of my control. So what other people are doing is out of my control. I can't really stress about that. But my own feelings, emotions, words, and actions are in my control. So the circles of control activity, like I said, along with explaining the brain science to kids, it's just all very empowering. The whole point of stress and anxiety is they're feeling out of control, right? So all of this allows them to feel more in control. Okay, so let's chat. I want to hear your takeaways about what you've learned so far and how this information can help your students. So tell me in the chat, how do you plan on teaching the stress cycle to your students, or which coping skills do you think your kids would find helpful? Do you think these are already, related to what you're already doing with self-regulation? Tell me what you're thinking so far. Also, how does this help you reframe stress in your own life? So like I said, we're talking about all these strategies for our students, but we can use these for ourselves as well. My husband Grant's on the call. He might be embarrassed, but I've been having him do the big hug, like a 20-second hug. It's more awkward and longer than you think. Like, I've always given him a hug, like, hand, but just like holding on, we're just going to keep hugging, but it really helps. It really helps. Okay. Let's see here. Melissa loves the pictures of the brain. So does Kiana. Catherine loves the technique of finishing the stress cycle. Eden wants to start with a tier 1 approach. Elsa said the psychoeducation. Yeah, Catherine's so good. She said she realized she missed the important step of explaining that after they're upset, we need to release the energy. So important. So often we're like, feel your feelings. It's okay to feel angry, which is so true. But then we just kind of leave it at that. And they're like, okay, still feeling angry. We need to help them release that. Lisa wants to incorporate more movement. Rachel says getting your self-regulation group out of the office for a walk. Christy likes the brain science. Ariana says finishing the stress cycle, explaining how the brain works, the physical option, the physical, the breathing, and the social, teaching about what's out of the control, grounding. Yes, you guys have so many good ideas. Oh my gosh, they keep going. I love it. Any questions? Any questions about the stress cycle? Here we go. Hannah said she loves all of this, but how do we get our students to slow down and practice these strategies long term when they're so impulsive and we aren't always there to help remind them in the moment to use their skills? I love that. It's tricky, right? It's one thing to have them successfully do something in the office, and then one thing to have them apply it outside. Getting the whole team involved. So parents and teachers on board, equipping them with the same strategies, giving the kids like a little toolkit they can access even when they're outside of your office, or doing push and support if you can go into their into their classroom and kind of see when the situation's happening. Because a lot of times they're sent to us after the fact, like a situation happens, they're sent to us after to fix it. And that's hard because we weren't there for the situation. But if you kind of are, out and about at recess or out and about in the lunchroom, you can help multiple of your students by kind of seeing things happen in real time, or in the classroom, kind of do some push and support as a transition piece. So it's not like, okay, your services are over, go do it. That way you can kind of push in and, be there to say, hey, in this moment right now, let's try this. I know that's hard because there's just one of you and you have many students, but it's a good transition piece. A lot of people said they had the same question, so thank you for that. So how would you feel if you had all of the tools that you needed to help students with anxiety? Tell me in the comments, how would you feel if you had all of these tools? Susie said successful, Rachel amazing, Stephanie prepared. I'm seeing a lot of prepared. Krista said she'd feel like Superman, absolutely. Like the great and powerful Oz. Better equipped, ready to go, helpful, prepared, grateful, feeling more effective. I felt relieved and confident. I knew I was truly helping my students. I think so often as counselors, we don't feel confident and prepared because we kind of have to go off script. Teachers have like a set curriculum they're following, but often we don't really have something. So we question our ability, even though we're definitely qualified. Remember this girl? That is me back in the day, unsure on how to best help students. I needed new coping strategies outside of breathing exercises, and I felt overwhelmed and barely keeping my head above water. Well, things have changed. I started applying the research and addressing the stress cycle. The teachers have loved this. It's way better now. I kind of have the magic wand and I can have strategies to share with them to use with the students. I help counselors feel confident and prepared, and I share anxiety and self-regulation lessons along with tons of other counseling resources and trainings on these topics inside of my Impact membership for counselors. So let's daydream for a second. Imagine what it's like to be a counselor who has the time and materials needed to implement class lessons, small groups, and individual sessions. And then you have a drop-in student come in who's in a crisis. They have a specific problem. So you simply log into Impact and quickly download something to use for that too. I'm going to show you how easy it is. Then you have a question about a tough case. You need some feedback from other counselors. So you ask in our community, kind of like we're doing here in this engaging chat, or on a call, and you get some great ideas that you didn't think of before. And then you get inspired and you learn a new time-saving hacker data tool during one of our trainings, or like a training like this one. You share it with your admin and they're super impressed. How do you think that counselor feels to have access to all the resources, access to an engaging community, and access to trainings? Sabria said she thinks that counselor feels at peace. Susie said equipped. Sarah said empowered, supported, hopeful, fulfilled, content, confident. That's what Impact is. Impact is my school counselor membership, and it helps you do exactly that. Inside Impact, I provide school counselors with the curriculum, the professional development, and the community they need to impact more students than ever before. Y'all, I'm so excited about this. I cannot wait to share this with you. I absolutely love Impact. All it is my monthly membership for school counselors. We have over 600 school counselors inside of Impact. It's a curriculum. You get access to all my counseling resources, professional development, trainings just like this one, and an engaged community just like you guys are in the chat, sharing your strategies and helping each other. Never stay after your contract hours again. You don't have to sacrifice family time on nights and weekends to find or create lessons and activities. You are already stretched so thin. I'm so thankful you took time to come to this training. I know you're so busy and you're spending a lot of your personal time prepping for counseling. Impact includes all of my TPT resources, 350 plus resources. You get unlimited downloads. You just go in, find what you need, and use it right away. So you're not having to write out lesson plans or, scrape things together, search Pinterest in the middle of the night before a lesson. Curriculum, access to every resource all the time. Like I said, it's on-demand access to all the curriculum. And we are adding 2 new resources each and every month, 1 elementary and 1 middle. I know a lot of you guys are middle school too. And we have Impact exclusives. So these are just for our members. So these are ones that are not on sale anywhere else. You can easily search for what you need in the menu bar. I'm going to show you guys in a minute. We'll do a little walkthrough. And you have a resource request form so you can tell me what you need. And other counselors can say, oh yeah, I need that too. And we have, for example, something we had a request for was a newsletter. A couple years ago, someone was like, hey, I really want a newsletter to send to parents. We didn't have one in there. So we made a newsletter. Oh my gosh, I tell you what, that is like the most popular thing inside Impact. People love the newsletters so they can send to parents. I'm getting some questions about ASCA standards. Yes, absolutely. So our resources are research-based, ASCA aligned. Our class lessons are also aligned to the CASEL standards as well. And I want you to tell you about Laurel. So Laurel's one of our impact members. She's a middle school counselor, and she joined because every resource was helpful. She said it not only helped her with her small groups, but her individual sessions as well, and it helped her simplify her data without driving herself insane. So it not only has resources for students, but we have a lot of resources for counselors as well when it comes to data and organization. It made her job so much easier. Say no to soul-sucking PD. So no more time wasted on irrelevant PD trainings. You know you have that district mandated PD that doesn't apply to counselors, doesn't apply to specialists. We have trainings just for you. If you like this training, if you like my teaching style, if you like our community here, you're going to love the trainings. We do them each and every month. We have one coming up, I believe it's on the 26th of this month, a couple weeks, all about mindfulness and the neuroscience-based approach to mindfulness with your students. I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat. I'll get to them at the end here. Our Grant can probably help you answer some as well. We have counselor-specific trainings on the topics you need most. Like I said, each and every month you'll get PD certificates, and we have bonus trainings. Like we did something called the Ultimate Small Group Experience that was a deep dive on small groups. And every year we do our Summer Summit Conference. This is our virtual conference exclusive to Impact members, and I'm already securing the lineup of speakers, and y'all, it is awesome. I cannot wait for Summer Summit. Stop feeling isolated, and no more feeling like you're on your own island with no support or team to collaborate with. Our profession can be isolating, whereas teachers have like 20 of them per grade level. We're only, by ourselves. Maybe you're lucky if you have a co-counselor and intern with you. But inside Impact, we have a community of like-minded school counselors to support you. We have an exclusive online community, so you can log into the community. I'll show you how to do that too. We have discussion circles. There's even an app that you can access it on the app. We have monthly community calls where we troubleshoot tough cases, share wins. Everyone says what they're doing in their programs. It's so awesome. And we always celebrate our members. We have member milestones where we do prizes like gift card giveaways. We have fun school counselor t-shirts, and we have a spotlight as well. Here is Kelly. Kelly is one of our members. She said it was so much easier to form her small groups, and the access to the materials has been amazing. She had 6 groups before, but then she was able to double her groups because she didn't have to plan anything. And she's forever grateful for the training resources and the community collaboration. So here's a sneak peek of what it looks like in action. You log in, and right there, it's all there. You have the curriculum, the PD, and the community. You drill into the curriculum, and you find exactly what you need. We have it sorted by topic, by season, by tier. So if you're looking for small groups, you just go to tier 2. If you're looking for topic, you go to anxiety, grade level, monthly lesson plans, all the things. So for example, let's say you wanted social skills. You click on that topic, and then here's all the social skills resources. You then just click on a resource, download it, print it, and use it right away. These are the trainings. This is where you can watch recordings if you're unable to attend live. And our community, like I said, I'll give you a little sneak peek in a bit where you can check out the inside there. So the site, I really want it to feel like easy to use and navigate. So we've made it's almost like Netflix, super easy just to scroll through and find it. Yeah, Kara, it is user friendly. Kristen was saying it's a gold mine. You can find every resource there. Carrie said everything's easy to find, and Heather thinks it's all amazing. So let's do a little example. I want to show you guys how you could use this. Someone tell me in the chat something that you need. What's a resource that you want to use with your kids? Maybe a group or a lesson you're looking for or an activity you're looking for. Tell me in the chat, and I'm going to show you how we can find it inside Impact. All right, let's see here. Oh gosh, a lot are coming in. Test anxiety. Love it, Brittany. So let's do that one because the topic, we were already talking about anxiety anyways. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys here. Okay, so this is when you log in. This is what you see. You would go to curriculum. Then you would go to topics, scroll through. We have this one under stress and anxiety, I believe. Mindfulness, self-control, self-esteem, self-regulation, stress and anxiety. Click here, and here are all of the stress and anxiety resources. You were talking about test anxiety. So we have test anxiety here in our stress small group stress busters. This is what I was talking about before. You would click it, you get a video guide on how to use it, and then here's the PDF. It's in a Google Drive. You just simply download it and use it with your kiddos right away. As you can see here, we have so many resources. Another way to find it is if you would go back to curriculum and then sort by topic, and you could say, tier. You could say, I want to do a group. That would be tier 2. Click on tier 2, and you can see all of the small groups right here. like I said, new stuff's being added each and every month, including Impact exclusives. Okay. I want to make sure you guys are back with me here. Can everyone see me okay? Give me a thumbs up or a yes, because, okay, perfect. Yes, and about the included resources, like I said, these are all the things that are inside my TPT store. We have over 9,000 plus 5-star reviews. You can see here on the screen things that satisfied counselors, just like you have said about our resources. Okay, so you're thinking like, okay, sounds great. What's the catch? What's the cost? Impact is $29 a month. But I have a live training special for you guys for taking the time to come here today. You can get your first month for just $10. Use code STRESSLESS at checkout. I'm going to add a link here. So go ahead and click over there, and then you can use code STRESSLESS at checkout to get your first month for just $10. If you want to get the annual membership, you already get a deep discount on annual plus access to my courses. But if you use the same code, you'll get the $19 off of annual as well. So again, you can get started today for just $10. Go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/impact or click on the button there and use code STRESSLESS at checkout. Maybe Grant can drop a link where that code is already entered in so they can go straight to the checkout page. But on the landing page, you can see everything there. Now, I have you guys another special. So that Stress Less special is for everyone who signed up for this call, right? Some people signed up, but maybe they couldn't make it live and they're going to get the replay tomorrow, so they'll see that. But if you join live on the call right now, we have a few more minutes, I'm throwing in my stress-free school counseling course for absolutely free. Stress-free school counseling, this is my proven 5-step framework where I show school counselors how to increase their impact, help more students, and get the recognition they deserve. It covers scheduling, organization, data collection, advocating, and handling pushback. I created this course back in 2020. Yeah, 2020. I always get 2020 and 2021 confused. Back in 2020, and it's amazing. It's a great complement to Impact. If you join annual, you get this and my other course included for free, but typically this is sold separately. But if you join now while on the call, you get this one for absolutely free. So who is Impact for? This is made for you. As an Impact member, you'll receive access to hundreds of counseling resources, professional development opportunities, and the community you need so you can take the guesswork out of planning and make the biggest impact possible at your school. Impact is for a new counselor who's not sure what they need to get started. It's for a veteran counselor who needs new ideas to keep students engaged. And it's for a school counselor who needs more time to plan small groups and lessons. It's also for a counselor who's looking for that support system and a community engaged with. Maybe they feel like they're on their own island. So tell me, which one are you? A new counselor who doesn't know where to start? A veteran counselor who needs fresh ideas? A counselor who needs more time? Or a counselor who's looking for community? All right, we're getting a lot of questions here, so I'm going to go up and answer some. Yes, let's see here. Someone was asking about they're not able to attend the trainings during the day. Can they watch them? Yes, absolutely. We have recordings all the time. And yes, your district can pay for this. We'll share some information on how to do that as well. That's like the win-win, right? And we do not have any high school curriculum, Janae, but we do have K through 8th grade. So this is for primary, elementary, and middle school. Kara says she loves it. Looks so user-friendly. Yay! And let's see here. Christy says, oh, she wants to share some things that she's worked on for Impact. Yeah, we would love to hear from that on the calls. Jill, great question. Jill says, can we access them somewhere that aren't on TPT because our district no longer accesses TPT? Yes, we have our own site. It's a completely different website that I own where you log on and get everything. So it is not TPT. Awesome. It looks like we're having some new members join already. Oh my goodness. Let's say welcome to Christy, Courtney, and Megan. Congratulations. And it looks like, let's see here, we've got a lot of people who are counselors who need more time. Jill's a new counselor and she needs more time. Naomi's needs more time looking for a community, even though she's been doing it for a while. Kendra, I love it. She's someone acting as a counselor without formal training. Courtney, yay, so glad you just signed up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're not a school counselor. Are there resources for Impact for you? Yes, meet Steve. Impact has been a lifesaver. As a social work intern, he had to teach some SEL groups. So maybe some of you are not, maybe you're interns, maybe you're social workers, maybe you're school psychs. Steve is a school social worker and he loved it. We have other interns and psychs inside Impact as well. He said his kids have loved the materials. So let's talk about why you're here. You showed up today even though you're crazy busy for a specific reason. Maybe that reason's because you're stretched too thin. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough time to plan quality counseling lessons. Maybe you want to access new fun resources to keep your students engaged. Or maybe you're overwhelmed and learning how to implement curriculum seems like too much to take on. Or maybe you want more. You want to reach as many students as you can without pulling your hair out. Get started today. Impact is for you. It'll help you solve all of these problems. Use code STRESSLESS at checkout. You can get started today for just $10. Oh, yay. Welcome. I see Esmeralda and Sinead just said in the chat that they signed up. Another Megan, Kaylee, Sarah, Ashley, Jennifer. Welcome, Billy, Tania, Stephanie, and Samantha. Amazing, amazing. And you may have doubts. You may be thinking, okay, this sounds good, but I don't have time to start right now. Remember, you get unlimited access to all of the resources plus recordings. You can download them, use them now, use them later. You get unlimited access to all of the downloads and resources, and we always have recordings of everything. Impact saves you time. If you're stressed on time, Impact is definitely for you. This is Bridget. She's one of our Impact members. She found it to be so time-saving. She's spending less time planning and more time supporting students, which is what we're here for, right? She also loves the PD opportunities and the community full of counselors who support one another. I'm seeing a couple people ask for, yes, if you have to hop off and you're looking for the handout, go to the handouts tab. I'm going to post here the anxiety curriculum. So this is with the grounding activities that I mentioned. This is the freebie I have for you as a thank you for showing up. And it is for individual students. So I think you'll love that. It also includes some data tools. This one's on anxiety. I have 11 of these. They're all included inside Impact. So if you're interested, if you like those, if you're looking for more of that. I'll also share a link to the Google Drive folder. This is where you can find your PD certificate of attendance, and we'll post the slide deck in there after this as well. Oh, we also have Rachel has joined us. Welcome. Maybe you're thinking, I'm too new. It's my first year as a school counselor. You are not too new. Don't wait until you're overwhelmed and on the edge of burnout. Get the resources and learn the systems that you need now. Believe me, the veteran counselors on this call say, don't wait and try to do it all yourself. Do not reinvent the wheel. We already have the resources that are proven and research-based ready for you here. And see what some other your counselors are saying. Bethany's a freshman-year counselor. She said Impact has changed the game and truly taken the stress out of planning. She doesn't have a planning period, and a lot of the activities are ready to go and easy to use. Or maybe you're thinking, I've been doing this a while, and I've been doing the same thing for years. Get refreshed and inspired. It's likely that you and maybe even your students are getting a little bored of doing the same activities and lessons. Access hundreds of new resources and connect with other counselors to remember why you started counseling in the first place. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm a middle school counselor. Are there resources inside Impact for me? Yes. New resources are added each month. Like I said, we're adding a new middle school resource and a new elementary resource every month. And we have our resource request. Remember Laurel? She was a middle school counselor too. And I think someone asked this earlier, you can sort by grade level. So primary, you were covered too. Once you log into Impact, you can scroll down and sort by grade level. And we have pre-K, first, second, third through fifth, sixth through eighth. That way you can find exactly what you need. Or maybe you're thinking, my caseload is huge. It is too big and I see multiple grade levels. I want you to meet Jessica. Jessica was a 3rd through 12th grade school counselor. I'm a former K through 12 school counselor, so I know all about a big caseload. She said she was so busy with so many grades and she wanted to do classroom push-in, but she just didn't know if she had the time. But having the classroom and small group lessons ready to go is going to save her so much time. Meet Nancy. Nancy's TK through 8th. Again, a very wide range of caseloads here, and she loves Impact. She said that she's been serving TK through 8 students, and it has been so helpful. She really believes it'll make her life easier and more organized. Or maybe you're thinking, the school year is halfway over. Can this just wait? End strong. The timing couldn't be more perfect. This time of year is so stressful. Take the planning off of your plate. There are amazing resources inside Impact waiting for you. And Summer Summit is right around the corner. Our summer program is huge. You get unlimited access to these resources year round. So the summer is exactly the same as the rest of the year. You can still get new resources added every month, even throughout the summer. We do trainings throughout the summer. But in addition, we do our Summer Summit. That is so fun. Yeah, great. Just answered the same question. All right, guys, don't forget your freebie and PD certificate. Go to the handouts tab. Right now you're in the chat. Go over to handouts. You'll see it there. I'm getting a lot of notifications, I think, from people joining. I hope you don't hear that ding as much as I do. If so, sorry, but not sorry, because I'm excited for the Impact members. And when you're done with the handouts, go back over to the chat so we can answer some questions for you guys. So a question I have for you, though, is what would you do if you had one more hour in your day? You are so busy, but what would you do if you had one more hour in your day? Christy saved so much time. She said the resources were easy to implement. She highly recommends Impact, and she even said it was a lifesaver. She was on the edge of burnout and found it to be so, so helpful. I'd love for you to get started today. You can join for just $10. Get your first month for just $10. stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/impact. Use code STRESSLESS. The slide deck, I'm going to drop it in the Google Drive folder after the call. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to drop it in before. Rebecca, you have to have a Canva account to do the certificate, but it's free to log into Canva. And educators even get free premium, I think. But it's free. You just have to create a little account to be able to edit the PD certificate. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, I wanted to mention again, if you join today on the call, you get stress-free school counseling for absolutely free. Remember, that is my course. Okay, we also have Natalia, Kendra, Lindsay, Sarah. Welcome, Mary. Welcome, Jennifer. So happy to have you, Amy, Elena, and Kate Blanford. Yay! Thank you so much, guys. I'm so, so happy to have you here. So, so happy to have you here. Okay, I'm seeing some questions. The certificate looks like a certificate, and then you click to edit, and then you can edit it. The zip file, yeah, so many goodies. Yeah, there's data tools in there as well. So zip file should be fine. Just double click it, and it should unzip the file. If you're having problems, you can always send me an email, rachel@brightfutures-counseling.com. I'm going to throw in the slide deck after the call. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Let me scroll back up. Oh, risk-free, cancel anytime. Wanted to mention this. If you are kind of hesitant, no strings are attached. You can cancel your Impact membership at any time. And this is the best. Get your school to pay for Impact. So I would love for you to join live on the call. Go ahead and get started with us, because then you can get stress-free school counseling as well. Also, you're going to get stress-free school counseling. We'll send you an email with access to that. So be on the lookout. We have everyone's name who joined while on the call. Got a few more minutes if you want to join us. And that way you can get your course for free as well. But after being an Impact, if you're like, oh, I want my school to pay for this instead of me, that's a win-win. We have info on our website. We have an admin email scripted up for you that you can send them with some information on everything that's included, and they can pay with a purchase order. We have schools pay for purchase orders all the time, and that's a really nice option. Stephanie did that, and she even got her colleagues to join. Stephanie had joined Impact on her own dime, and then she's like, I'm going to ask my school if they'll pay for it, just see what happens. Not only did they start paying for hers, they started paying for like all the counselors in her district, which was amazing. Okay, so let me know in the chat, counselors, what questions you have. I'm seeing we have a lot, so I'm going to try to get to them all here. Someone asked for the code. The code is STRESSLESS. Leanne, yes, it is on the landing page. So if you go to stressfreeschoolcounseling.com/impact, there's a whole section that says click here for that info to give to your admin. Maybe Grant can drop a link to that as well. It looks like, I think we do have like an automated thing where you can buy the course. Skip it, because we're going to be sending it to you for free since you're joining live on the call. But if you accidentally bought it, no worries. We'll make sure you get a refund for that. Yep, Grant has a link for the admin folder. Jennifer signed up with her home email. That's your school email. Okay, Grant will get with you to work that out. And let's see here. Are there resources we can use for presenting during an all-staff PD day? Oh, gosh, Hannah, I love this question. This is on my list because I feel like this is a necessity. I think people would love that too. Like if I prepared trainings for you guys that you could present. So that we are looking into that, because I love that idea, Hannah. Kathleen, the code is STRESSLESS. That's so you can start for just $10 today. Yay, Melissa's going to get her school to pay for it. That's awesome. Let's see here. Hope you had some success with the zip file, Roslyn. Yeah, thank you, Amy. Just looking in the downloads folder. That's a great way to find the zip file. Jennifer, you don't have a card on you. Okay, get with Grant. Maybe he can work something out to still honor that thing for you. The stress stress less code will still work for like 24 hours. So when you get home, you can get that. And let's see here, zip file. I think you guys are figuring it out and editing the certificate. Hannah said she would do self-care if she had an extra hour. I feel that, Hannah, absolutely. Slide deck I'm going to drop in at the end of this call. And let's see here. We have some more things here. Yes, we will be sending out a replay tomorrow. Great question, Esther. We'll be sending out a replay tomorrow that you can watch. Susie wants staff PD too. I love it. So does Billy. Okay, good to know. Kathleen, yay. So glad you joined. Yeah, if you can't watch the whole thing, no worries. We're going to be sending a replay for this tomorrow. D'Allison joined. Yay. And Hannah said she feels like so many people don't know the roles of counselors. Yeah, absolutely. That's so, so important. It looks like we're having more new members. Oh, my goodness. Ariana, Ashley, Naomi, Nicole, Carmi. Yay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am just so thrilled to have all of you guys. Let me see. I don't want to miss anyone's name, but we are wrapping up here. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Wow, this is great. We have Krista has joined us as well. Nancy, Kathleen, Moira, Jamie. Oh my goodness. So many new members. So, so excited. Okay. We are going to close out the call now. Thank you for your time. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, rachel@brightfutures-counseling.com. Here are the sources that I wanted to cite for the research that I did for this presentation in case you wanted to take a look. Brene Brown had, I believe that was a podcast episode with her and Emily and Amelia Nagoski. Those are the authors of the Burnout book. Highly recommend. I'm reading it on my Kindle now. There's also a couple other articles that I cited as well. Thank you so much. I hope you found this helpful. Again, you got like 1 more minute to join to get that free stress-free school counseling course. If not, the the stress less code will continue to work for like 24 hours. Send you an email tomorrow with links to PD certificate, slide deck, and a reminder on how to use that code. Thank you all so much. Have a beautiful day. Bye.